The free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends. He dips his wing in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. The bird stalks down his narrow cage and can seldom see through his bars of rage. His feet are tied and his wings are clipped, so he opens his throat to sing.
A story of hurt, a story of loneliness, a story of anger, but also a story of love. That's how Gilbert described Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. But even Gilbert's poetic description does not give justice to the torrent of emotions that Angelou's pain uses to craft the beloved image of Maya or Mai, who became the symbol of defiance and revolt for a triple oppressed black woman of the 60s. It is not just a story of hurt and loneliness, but also of healing and community. It is the story of anger, anger enough to make Maya smash her racist employer's family heirloom. But it is also a tale of forgiveness. Forgiveness wide enough for her to tell that whites and blacks are more alike than they intend us to. But most of all, it is a story of love. Love for the self, love for the community, love for the family, and love for the wide, wide world. Today, we get together to discuss some streams of thought out of this ocean of emotions. In conversation, we have Isha Ishita, Janani SS, and Shruti Banerjee. Taking a quote from the book, the black female is assaulted in her tender years by all those common forces of nature, at the same time that she is caught in the tripartite crossfire of male prejudice, white illogical hate, and black lack of power. Can you elaborate how the book became a source of strength for the black community, especially the black female?
So I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings came at a time when black women were not even central figures in the novels written by them. So all of a sudden, a book comes which puts not just the black female at the center, but also pays attention to her thought processes and justifies the need for black women to think independently from both white prejudice and black patriarchy. And this book served as a sort of a gate opener for other black women writers to come forth and express their viewpoint.
One thing about the autobiography is the candid and unapologetic tone she uses all throughout to describe both her positive and negative experiences. She is honest about the oppression and the defiance, yes, but also for her own insecurities and longing for love. That kind of tone and carefree confessions created Maya as not just an oppressed black woman, but also a breathing person with her own set of emotions, joys and sadness. This comes at a time of heavy stereotyping, and so, for the first time, it gives validation to all those women in countless fields and behind the sewing machines that they also have a right to feel.
In black communities, the privilege of a family was continuously denied, especially to the black female, who was supposed to copulate but not marry, have children for the benefit of the slave owner but not love them. So Angelou focuses primarily on the bonds of motherhood and family, let it be herself and her mother, or herself and her grandmother, or her and her son. The three mothers portrayed are widely different from each other, but not just in the way they see the world, but also in the way they make their children see the world. While Mama, the grandmother, instills a religious courage in Maya, leading her to face racism with spiritual strength, the mother, Vivian, who at first has a negative influence in Maya's life because of her absence, at the end captivates her with her euphoria and chassiness, something Maya inherits and is proud to inherit. Their relationship is mended at the time when Maya herself becomes a mother, in the process also becoming a daughter. When she finds out that she is pregnant and she is unwed and she also doesn't love the father, then when she comes to the mother instead of reacting violently, reacts very calmly and even delivers the baby herself because there is no white doctor available to treat a black female. So this is where the point comes when Vivian and her daughter actually find comfort in each other and in each other's similarity, because Maya and Vivian are very similar. And that's that sense of security that Maya inherits from Vivian, she gives to Guy Johnson, her son. And so this the link of the chapters is the idea of motherhood, linking all these black women, not just to her mothers like Maya or her mother or her grandmother, but also other black female like Mrs. Bertha Flowers, who steps in to help Maya regain her identity and speak up after she goes mute from the rape experience. The female motherhood, which helps black women transcend both patriarchy and racism, is inherently portrayed as a defiant symbol, a defiant tool.
Yes, and that's something common across black writings. The focus on community values, not just as a binding force, but also as an active rebellion against the white separation. As Althusser theorizes, the tool of exploitation becomes more poignant and successful when you separate the victims and allow them not to form bonds. The black community thwarted this plan by sticking together and helping each other. You see, in the initial chapters, our Mama's General Store became a place of community meetings for the tired and overworking plantation workers who had no other means of even holding conversations. The church, the school, the general store, and even radio broadcasts of championship fights became community places used to appropriate cultural power back from the oppression. In the novel, we also see black people going to great lengths to save each other, like Mama hiding a black man from the Ku Klux Klan at the peril of her own son, or Mrs. Flower helping Maya regain her voice and identity through literature and camaraderie.
We see pop culture also as a very poignant space of community that gives a sense of power to the disenfranchised black. The black community gets together in the general store to cheer over Joe Louis, topple his white opponent. For that one day, all concerns of broken hands, shattered backs, wages not sufficient to last a day evaporate as the community gets together to celebrate its personal hero. As Kajjo stated, the fight was supposed to act as a pacifier, as an entertainment for the blacks, to help demonstrate how far they have progressed in society. Instead, it became a recreation of the struggle between white and black America, something that they felt they won that night. We can also see pop culture being used as a medium to correct stereotypes propagated by the white community. A racist school official derides the black community at her elementary school graduation, asking them to focus on their bodies and manual labor because they have stunted intellectual capabilities. The children then, read by Henry Reed, respond by singing, "Lift every voice and sing," a metaphor to the united resilience of their community.
Religion was introduced to keep the black in subjugation by the whites, but the blacks appropriated it to give them strength to fight back oppression. As you see in the Poe white trash incident, when white children exploit their protected status to intimidate and humiliate Mama, instead of reacting with rage, she maintains her personal dignity by kneeling down and praying, thus scaring them into not humiliating her anymore. Later, Meg Person will come and call this a strategy of subtle resistance and a dignified course of silent endurance that a lot of blacks employed over the years to counter white humiliation and white torture, something which again Martin Luther King will come and convert into passive resistance, because he also came from a similar background as Mama came from, a pastoral church background. And in the book also, in other books by black writers also, you'll find very subtle mention of Bible imagery, which seems the black have found a comrade in the oppressor's God, who also went through humiliation, crucifixion and resurrection. If you trace Maya's journey in the book, it starts with humiliation, indignation and shame, not accepting one's identity, others not accepting her identity. Then in the middle part, she describes the white oppression of, and where she is renamed by her employer, and then the rape happens and all the humiliation of the rape, which you can take as metaphor, extended metaphor for the crucifixion. But then the story ends with her reclaiming her identity, proudly as an unwed mother, as a black female, as a daughter, as a sister, and also as the first black woman cable car conductor, and later as a reader and a writer, thus taking a full circle to reassertion. Thus her life and Jesus' life, she draws a parallel, and that becomes her way of defiance to the whites. Let's see, the black are more connected to Jesus because he also went through suffering, we also went through suffering.
Thank you so much. I believe our audience now has a clearer idea of the community values and identity issues that has been explored so efficiently in Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. But sadly, although a seminal text for not just black women but also all oppressed communities across the globe, and even after being canonized and almost worshipped by them, there has been widespread protests to ban the book from school libraries, citing its depiction of rape and Angelou's celebration of a teen pregnancy. While reading the book, one realizes that the depiction of rape is a violent metaphor of racism treated with dignity and not cashing pornography as people believe it. It is a book which transcends race and gender because it is an honest, unapologetic celebration of life, triumph, and most importantly, failings and sufferings. Reading the book fills one with uncontrollable rage and also with hope and unadulterated joy. That is why every child should read it to learn to face life with joy, dignity, and confidence.